Welcome to Week 6. This is Steve Googe, teaching Church Administration 202. Today we're going to examine learning the process of strategic planning. Strategic planning is the new term for long-range planning. It recognizes the fact that planning cannot be for a 10-year period any longer. Things change much too quickly for a long process. And so strategic planning will be engaged in looking at a 3 to 5 year plan, and even less sometimes. So let's get into our subject. Now, what will you learn during this session? You will learn the importance of values. We'll look at core values and what they really mean and what enduring core values are all about. What does a mission statement look like, and where does it come from? We'll look at guidelines for a mission statement. We'll look at what a vision statement is and how to test yours, and what an organizational structure is, and you will learn what organizational strategies are. The strategic planning process has 5 component parts: values discovery, mission development, vision development, structure development, and finally strategy development. Over the course of the next several moments, we're going to develop each one of these processes. I want you to look at the word process. That means it takes time. It means it isn't an instant program or an instant process. It takes time. So to arrive at a good strategic plan, you must follow this process, and it will take you some time. No microwaving allowed here. Just as our personal values speak to what is important in our lives, so do congregational, ministry, or organizational values speak to the very foundation of what our life in our organization is all about. There are 9 reasons why core values are so very important to the life of a church. Let's look at these briefly. Number 1, it determines the ministry distinctives. Every church, every ministry is not exactly alike, for we're all unique. The values of one may not be the value of another, and so we must determine what our distinctive values are and what they look like. Second, the importance of values dictate personal involvement. When we have values, and our values match the organization that we're engaged with, then we are more likely to become involved. And then the third is value communicates what's important. The values show us exactly what we believe has value or is a treasure. Values communicate what is important. It's what's on the bottom line. Does change agree with our core values? Then it's probably safe to move forward if they do. Then values influence overall behavior. Values dictate every decision and influence every action, right down to the way we think and the manner in which we execute those actions. Then values inspire people to action. Once a person has embraced the core values of an organization, it inspires them to move forward and to be active in the ministry. Values enhance credible leadership. Leaders must also embrace the values of the organization. If they do not know and cannot articulate the values, then they will certainly not be able to lead the church forward. Values contribute to ministry success. If we have clear core values, then it motivates us to work harder and longer. It helps us to understand what success is all about. Then values determine ministry, mission, and vision. We need to recognize that there's a difference between a mission statement and a vision statement. The mission statement is a statement of the church's direction. The vision is a snapshot of the church's direction. One might ask, what are enduring core values? Well, enduring core values are non-negotiable characteristics of the ministry that, if not present, would change the basic character and nature of the ministry. Core values are the constant, passionate, biblical beliefs that drive the ministry. And number 3, core values explain who you are. It gives your identity. At this point, it might be helpful to add an illustration. Acts chapter 2, verses 42 through verse 47 is a wonderful illustration of enduring core values. The Bible says, "And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, in the breaking of bread, and in prayers. Then fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done through the apostles. Now all who believed were together, and had all things in common, and sold their possessions and goods, and divided them among all, as anyone had need. So, continuing daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, they ate their food with gladness and simplicity of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to the church daily those who were being saved." We see several values in this passage. We recognize that the apostles placed a great value on doctrine and fellowship, breaking of bread, and praying. This is a great passage of Scripture to analyze, to look at core values. Now, core values are timeless. They're not timely. And what do I mean by that? It means that their values are functions, timeless, not forms, timely. And then second, they are ends and not a means to an end. If you're trying to decide whether something is a value, then it may help to ask this question: is it an end or a means to an end? And then they explain why you do what you do. If you're trying to determine if something is a value, determine if it is what you are doing or the reason for what you are doing. The latter will be a value. We now move from values discovery to mission development. The next slides will develop this concept. The ministry's mission is very important because it affects the church in a number of essential ways. Here are 9 of those. The mission dictates the ministry's direction. If you don't know where you're going, you might end up somewhere else. Second, the mission formulates the ministry's function. You will never do ministry that matters until you define what really matters. Besides direction, the mission helps a ministry formulate or determine its biblical function. What is the primary or main thing that God has called us to accomplish? What are we attempting to do for God and our people? In short, what matters to God? Number 3, the mission focuses the ministry's future. That's because the mission, like the church's vision, has everything to do with the future. A clear biblical mission serves to bring into focus the church's ministry in the future. Number 4, the mission provides a guideline for decision making. Every leader is called on to make decisions. And when you have a mission statement, it guides what the church will and will not attempt. It provides direction for when to say yes and when to say no. Number 5, the mission inspires ministry unity. We're certainly called by God to be people of unity, of oneness. A clear direction communicates a unifying theme to all the members and draws them together as a team or a community. And it broadcasts this statement: here is where we're going. Let's all pull together, and with God's help, we'll make it happen. Number 6, the mission shapes the strategy. The mission leads and shapes the church's strategy. The mission tells what, and the strategy tells how. Number 7, the mission enhances ministry effectiveness. We will do the job much better if we know what the job is, and we will be more effective in it. Number 8, the mission ensures an enduring organization. Pastors come and pastors go. Leaders come and leaders go. The goal of every ministry leader should be to leave behind a mission that will continue after he is gone. And then number 9, the mission facilitates evaluation. When you know what your mission is, you know then how to evaluate your progress. Developing a good mission statement is important. The mission statement asks the question, what are we supposed to be doing? Now, what would be a good definition of a mission? Well, I would define it this way. It's a broad, brief, biblical statement of what the ministry is supposed to be doing. Now, that definition has 5 key elements. It's broad. A good mission statement must be broad. It's comprehensive and overarching. And then it is brief. Just a few words. Many believe that a mission statement should be written in one sentence. It is biblical. Obviously, we want our mission statement to be combined with biblical principles and ideals. And it is a statement. It is a statement that is made, that it can be articulated and communicated to the entire congregation. And then it is about what the ministry is supposed to be doing. That's the question we need to ask over and over when we're developing a mission statement. What are we supposed to be doing? Now that you know what a mission statement is supposed to look like, let me give you some guidelines for writing your statement. I hope this will help you in the process of determining what your mission as a church or organization or ministry is. Number 1, determine what the church is supposed to do. Whom will we serve? How will we serve these people? Number 2, write the mission statement. Do people understand what we have written? Ask that question over and over and rewrite your mission statement. Number 3, make your mission statement broad but clear. Is the statement broad enough? Ask yourself that question. Is the statement clear? Ask that over and over. And again, rewrite. And then number 4, make our mission statement brief and simple. Is it short enough? Is it memorable? Will the congregation be able to memorize our mission statement and be able to express it in an easy fashion? As a review, we're looking at the strategic planning process. We've looked at values discovery. That is, what is a treasure to us? What is the foundational core value upon which our ministry rests? Then we've looked at mission development. We've asked the question, what are we supposed to be doing? Who are we supposed to be serving? Now we come to vision development. The next several slides will deal with that topic. In the process of developing a strategic plan, I hope you noticed that we began with values, we continued with a mission statement, now we have arrived at vision. So many ministries and churches begin with vision first, and they do not have a foundation to build their vision upon. Now, what is a vision? A vision is a clear, challenging picture of the future of the church as we believe it can and must be. It can be this way, and it is absolutely imperative that it become like the picture of the future we have drawn. A vision is like a snapshot. This slide, in a visual way, gives us a comparison of mission and vision. You'll notice we compare them on the basis of definition, application, length, purpose, activity, source, order, focus, development, and communication. Now quickly, let me just simply mention that you can compare mission and vision by saying a mission is a statement, but a vision is a snapshot. It's a picture. The application of a mission is planning, but a vision must be communicated. A ministry leader must continually cast vision. The length of the mission is short. The vision is long-term. The purpose of the mission is to inform, whereas the vision must inspire. It leads people to a higher level. The activity level of a mission is knowing. The vision is seeing. You need to be able to see the vision. And this is why stories are so important when you're trying to communicate your vision to others. The source for a mission is the head, but the vision, we want to penetrate the heart. The order of mission is first. It must come before vision. The focus, a mission has a broad focus, whereas a vision is narrow. The development of a mission is taught, but a vision is caught. And then communication is visual for the mission, but it is verbal for the vision. I hope that this will help you as you try to distinguish between these two important categories. I threw this visual in just to get your attention. Notice it does reflect vision. Here's the leader showing the way, and others are following, with an arrow indicating they got it. They know what the vision is, and they know how to accomplish it. They're looking toward the future, and I believe that this group will accomplish their vision. Now, my challenge to you is, I want you to be the leader, casting the vision, allowing the followers to do their part, and working together to achieve the vision of your church or ministry. I introduced two slides in between the current slide and the slide that dealt with vision. What is it? Let me remind you that vision is a clear, challenging picture of the future of the church as we believe it can and must be. Now I want to continue talking about vision. What is it? Well, a vision builds on the core values. Those core values are the very foundation upon which the house of vision is built. A vision is a picture. Remember, we said it's a snapshot. A vision serves to bridge the past and the future. A vision is like writing the future story of the church. A future that is bright, is compelling. A future that will call people and beckon followers to come. Let's do this thing together. Let's move forward in the future for our Lord and accomplish great and mighty things that we know not of. Now I challenge you to sit down and begin writing a vision for your church. Hopefully you've already delineated what your core values are and what your mission statement is. Now, your vision. Go ahead, start writing it. And after you've written it, ask these questions. Is it a clear vision? Is it a compelling vision? Is it a picture or a snapshot? Is it a vision of the future of this ministry? Is it a vision that can be? And is it a vision that must be? We're back once again to the strategic planning process slide that you've seen several times. Values discovery, mission development, vision development. The new topic we will now look at is structural development. The structure of an organization is extremely important. After we know what our values are, we've written our mission statement, we also have our vision statement, now we're ready to examine our structure. What is a structure? Well, the structure of an organization is the critical framework by which decisions are made and resources are brought to bear in fulfillment of the vision. A structure should be simple. It should help fulfill the vision. The structure helps promote efficiency and effectiveness. Now, what do I mean by those two words? Well, effectiveness is doing the right things. And then efficiency is doing things right. Now, as a rule, the simpler a structure is, the more efficient it can be in achieving the desired outcome. And of course, the desired outcome is to fulfill the vision. Think in terms of energy-efficient appliances or automobiles. As more and more features are added, they become more complex and require more energy to run. A simple organizational structure allows more resources to be devoted directly to the pursuit of the vision. A complex structure will demand an ever-increasing percentage of the resources, that is, money, people, and facilities. At the heart of it all lays a question of stewardship and return on investment. Return on investment is a matter of what is most important to you. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. Lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6:19-21. This slide presents several examples of needed structures. These do not represent all of the needed structures, but they are an example. How are lesser decisions made? Do those decisions come before a larger body, or can a smaller group make lesser decisions? What about major decisions such as purchasing land or selling land or relocating or building buildings? How are those decisions made? And what about the annual ministry budget? How is it made? How is it put together? That's an important structure. And then the Constitution, bylaws. And then what about the team concept or the committee concept? What type of structure does the organization or ministry have? These are all important structures, and much attention should be given to them. If these are driven by the vision, they will help the congregation achieve that vision. We have looked at this strategic planning process, and we have delineated values discovered, and then mission development, vision development, structure development, and now we come to the last of these issues as we will talk about strategies for the organization. What are strategies? A strategy is a specific plan for accomplishing a task. Therefore, strategies could be defined as how your ministry will accomplish its mission. The strategy answers the question, how? How are we going to achieve this? How will we accomplish this plan that God has given to us? Most of what passes today for strategic planning is nothing more than tactical planning at best. It's not that strategy isn't valued. Mostly it seems that strategy isn't understood. Now there are three primary areas where strategic planning falls short. First, it can lack focus. Strategy cannot be effective without a clear vision. In other words, strategy exists for the accomplishment of the mission or the vision. Without a shared understanding of a church's calling, that is its vision, ministry leaders and staff members can design strategies based upon their own understanding of where they think the church needs to go. 10 different leaders will have 10 different ideas in terms of the direction the church should go. You see the problem? Second, strategic planning gets skipped, and the planners move directly to tactical planning without realizing it. Most of what we label as strategic planning is really tactic. And finally, we usually fail to include a means of assessment in our strategic plans. How are we to know if we have accomplished the objective if there is no definition of success or means of measuring it for each strategy adopted? Now, I want you to see the reasons for having a good strategy. It helps us accomplish the mission and the vision. It facilitates understanding among the members of the congregation in terms of knowing where we're going and how we're going to get there. It provides a sense of spiritual momentum, and you cannot put a price on the big mo. Momentum is extremely important. It invests God's resources properly. We, in this day, must recognize that stewardship is an important ingredient, and if we don't use the resources of God wisely, we will not be good stewards. And then it displays what God is blessing. And it's wonderful to put on display how God is ministering, how He's building disciples, how people are being baptized, how those that are being baptized then are engaged in ministry. So strategies are extremely important. Developing a strategic plan is crucial for the development of the modern church. If we don't have a vision, people are going to go in every direction, a direction that they determine, rather than the direction that God has established for the church or the ministry. I want to encourage you to take the things that we have shared together and talked about in this lecture and use them to help begin a process of developing your own strategic plan. Use a group of people that will help you develop a strategic plan. In the process, they will begin to own the mission and the vision of the church. They will help you discover what the values are. Then you can develop your structures and your strategies on top of that. I encourage you to go forward now and take this material and use it. Additional resources used in this presentation came from a book entitled The Performance Factor by Pat McMillan, Sticky Teams by Larry Osborne, and then also the Church Health Institute of the Baptist State Convention of North Carolina. May the Lord bless you richly as you apply this material in your ministry.